All right, Pisces, the cards that you're pulling here are really opposing. So this week from Le Vampire, you pulled Hunter, Aggressor, Tracker, and Provider. And then from Chakra Wisdom, you pulled Dissipating. Now, Hunter, the blessing here says it is natural and wise to allow the part of you that is active and strong and forceful to have expression. It is time to actively seek that which you want. See how far your strength can take you. Now, working with this card says it's time to establish how to obtain what it is that you want. You must not ask another to go after it. You must find that part of you within that has the courage to chase what you want and what you would make yours. But it's important here to be honest about what it is that you're aggressively trying to track down. Now, the opposing part is with Dissipating. The inspiration here says, beware of being imprisoned by the story you tell. Do you intend to do what you say? The personal question says a lack of planning does not indicate misfortune. Am I doing what I say? The key ideas are taking action, content to dream, going in circles, strong intelligence, making excuses, and procrastinating. So for some of you, you're being honest with yourself. You know exactly what it is that you want, but there's a part of you that's like sitting back and you would rather talk about it than actually do it. You know, there definitely is procrastination between the two. All right, Pisces, here we go. Here's the energy coming through. The Three of Wands. Waiting. Now, I like the Three of Wands in terms of where you come out at as far as like going from the Ace to the Two. So when you're looking at the Wand suit, you have the Ace. You have the initial spark of creativity. You got the Two where you're making those decisions to act. The Three, you've done this. Now you're waiting to see how things develop. And I've always said with this card, when you're looking out over this cliff, you should already know what to expect here. These are the things that you've been working toward. But for some of you, it feels like you're waiting on something here, especially with Dissipating being there. You may be aggressively tracking something down, but there may be a part of you that is like waiting. You're like holding off here before you take any more action to see how something is going to develop for you. And in the past, the King of Wands. So for some of you, this may be dealing with a person and you're looking at fire, Aries, Leo, Sag, possibly. But what's more important to me is the personality when you're looking at the King of Wands. Now, for some of you, this could definitely be the energy surrounding you looking at the Three of Wands. You know, in the past, you may have had this like spark of creativity that you definitely wanted to act on here with the King of Wands. And it's a good energy, right? There's excitement here. There is a drive to follow your passions, but there's also wisdom here. The only problem that I've ever had with the King of Wands is, you know, the need to commit. You know, he has the tendency to start something and then move on to something else without finishing out one project. So now, on the other hand, for some of you, you may be waiting to see how things develop with possibly a person. And in the present. So, the Six of Wands, recognition. As far as waiting to see how things are going to develop, the Six of Wands looks great. A job well done, accomplishment, and victory. Victory over adversity here. But, you know, being recognized. And that recognition may be coming from another person, or you're being recognized for the work that you're doing. Future conditions, the Nine of Wands. So, now, seeing that underneath the Six, you know, if you're dealing with a person and you're waiting to see how things are going to play out here, you know, you may be wanting recognition from them. You know, you may not be receiving it, or you are receiving it, and there's a part of you that may still be on guard here with the Nine of Wands. But the other thing, though, is there's persistence here. You know, not wanting to give up. You know, you've been put through it here, but damn it, you know, you still have some fight left in you. But, you know, I kind of worry, though, too, you know, I mean, as far as like persistently trying to go after attention from a person that you're still waiting to see happen. Now, on the other hand, as far as, you know, waiting to see how things develop, it looks really good. I feel like you think that you've done a really great job, and you have here. Otherwise, there wouldn't be, you know, this recognition for it. But, you know, if you're still waiting for something else here, the Nine of Wands is just saying that there's still some persistence. But, you know, I don't know. You've got all this fire energy going on around you, and it definitely may have to do with a person. Your best path to follow, the Eight of Pentacles. So now, basically, with the Eight of Pentacles being your best path to follow, it's telling you you need to continue to work. You need to continue to bust your ass here if you're wanting to see something happen. You know, you have to be willing to put in the effort here. And it's okay to have that persistence, but, you know, if you're not willing to put in the effort, then you can't expect to see anything happen. So the Eight of Pentacles looks good, especially if, you know, you're willing to continue to work hard for the things that you're wanting. It may be, you know, a situation here where you're having to wait a little bit. But with the Eight of Pentacles being there, the feeling around it is that, you know, as long as you're continuing doing the work that needs to be done, there's a potential here for you to see some really great results. And it looks good. It looks good. And I think for some of you right now, you know, there may be this initial recognition for the work that you're doing. You know, it may not be a whole lot, but I feel like with persistence and hard work, you know, there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to see the things that you want. In your environment, the Eight of Wands, I'm telling you, for those of you who are dealing with a person here, there is communication. The Eight of Wands, that being in your environment, it's not only fast-moving energy and things moving quickly, but you're also looking at with the Six of Wands when you're talking about recognition, and you're looking at the Eight of Wands and you're talking about communication. It is a going back and forth. You're being recognized by possibly somebody here, and there is communication. And you may be waiting to hear from somebody. And it may have to do with work or something that you're working toward here. And I don't think, you know, even if things don't start moving quickly here, or you're not hearing the things that you need to hear, or communication may be at a standstill, I think that you're still persistent in going after what you want, which looks really good. I just worry about dissipating for some of you. But, you know, again, the feeling is, for some of you, there may be recognition from somebody, and, you know, he looks really good, definitely. But maybe you're waiting for further communication here on something that you're working toward, looking at the Eight of Pentacles. Look at it. My God, Pisces, what is happening here? So the Two of Wands, and your hopes and your fears, been making those decisions, you know, and hoping to make the right decisions to act here. But again, it's like you're not really doing it just yet. And I think for a lot of you, it's because you're waiting to hear back on something from somebody. You know, I think that the action that you're going to take is, I think, good. I'm not seeing you, you know, making any rash decisions or doing anything that you're not supposed to here. I mean, the Two of Wands looks really good, but I think you're waiting to hear further communication before you know for sure where you're going here. You know, what decisions you need to make to start acting. And the Eight of Pentacles being there again, you know, putting in a lot of hard work. It's going to be a lot of effort, but as long as you're willing to do it, there's no reason why you shouldn't see fantastic results. But I do think that for a lot of you, you're waiting to hear communication back. And you're not giving up with the Nine of Wands. That's good. Oh, Pisces, what's up? What's up? The Two of Cups as the outcome, and then looking at the King of Wands. So all of this, it's either going to have to do with a relationship or a business-like partnership, right? Like, for instance, this reminds me of like waiting to hear back from like a job interview. You know, I think for some of you, you feel like it went really well. You're just waiting to hear back communication. You're not willing to give up on this. You're being persistent, and it may develop into a really good relationship for you in terms of you and the work that you're going to be doing. Now, for some of you, this may have to do with a relationship waiting to hear back from communication from somebody. You're not willing to give up here with the Nine of Wands as far as a relationship goes. And you're just kind of waiting here. You're waiting here, but you're willing to put forth the effort. And I think dissipating may be showing up for some of you just because it may feel like things are like they're not happening as quickly as you expected it to. Because, you know, I would have expected to see, like, with the Eight of Wands being in your environment, I would have expected to see something like the Chariot show up somewhere. So as far as fast energy goes, I think that, you know, you're moving quickly on this situation. But I do think that this is going to have to do with the communication that may be going back and forth. And again, it's connected here with the Six of Wands, right? But wow, Pisces, it looks really good with the Two of Cups coming out. But I am going to pull a clarifier on that because I just want to see what is up with the Two of Cups here. You have, oh wow, okay, so you have the Ten of Swords, you have the Lovers, and you have the Page of Wands. So for some of you, you may be coming out of a really difficult, painful ending here. And you may be waiting to hear communication back on a relationship with the Lovers and the Two of Cups. But the Page of Wands looks really good. For some of you, this may actually be a new situation. But it's exciting. It's exciting communication. Things may start to develop here. But I think for a lot of you, the reason why you're still persistent in pursuing this is because you've been through some painful endings in relationships. But this looks like a renewal, honestly. You know, and the same thing goes with even a job position. You know, but you're persistent. You're definitely persistent in pursuing a relationship here. And with the Page of Wands being connected to the Lovers, it does look really good. I just think that, you know, you're going to have to continue to work at this. The communication may be at a standstill right now. You may feel like, you know, things are coming to an end here, but the communication may pick back up here looking at the Page of Wands. And mystery, oh yeah, resilience is good to see for you guys. You're going to be able to bounce back from, you know, whatever may be holding you back from pursuing the things that you want, especially if you're looking at some kind of a painful ending involving a relationship, whether it's a work relationship or a romantic relationship. Whatever the relationship is, you're going to be able to bounce back. But you're going to have to take initiative here. And mystery, right? There's mystery surrounding this because you're still on hold here. I feel like you're on hold waiting for things, waiting for communication, waiting to take some more action here. Like it's there and you're going to have to bust your ass to get to where you want within a relationship. And again, it could be romantic or business. But, you know, I can understand why mystery is sitting there. You're going to be able to bounce back from whatever negative things may have happened. And as long as you're persistent and you take the initiative here, I think that there is, you know, a possibility that things are going to start to renew here when it comes to communications involving, you know, the relationship with the Lovers and the Page of Wands. Playfulness. To recapture romance, allow your inner youthful spirit of fun to shine. Yes, playfulness. That kind of energy is going to open the door here, especially with the Page of Wands being there. There's some excitement, some playfulness. It looks good. It does. So for those of you who are on the hunt here for a new relationship, that playful energy is what's going to open up communication, I think, for some of you. Worth waiting for. Divine timing is at work in your love life. And flirt. Extend your lighthearted energy to others. So Pisces, this week in terms of relationships, it looks like lighthearted, playful energy is going to be the best way forward within relationships, but worth waiting for. Something is worth waiting for. You know, for some of you, I kind of get the feeling that, you know, if this is an existing relationship, it may have been put on pause and now things are starting to pick back up here. Now, for those of you who are happy within a relationship, you're just looking at, you know, possibly a business partnership and things may be going really good within the relationship and it may affect the relationship, but in a really good way. But definitely that lighthearted energy is what Pisces needs to tap into. But definitely here, something is going to be worth waiting for. All right, Pisces, so it does look like here you're waiting for communication, and there may be, some recognition going on here. You may be recognizing somebody, but I got a feeling that for some of you, somebody is recognizing you, and you're waiting to hear back on communication from this person here, looking at the Three of Wands as your signifier. You're waiting to see how things are going to develop so that you know what action you need to continue taking here. And, you're persistent. You are persistent. I don't think that you're willing to give up on this situation here. And for a lot of you, you're going to have to put in a lot of hard work to get to where you're wanting. Because I'm telling you, I feel like for a lot of you, the reason why Hunter and Dissipating is showing up is because you are aggressively tracking down what it is that you want, and you're being honest about it, which is good. But Dissipating is saying that that waiting period may make you feel like things are not going to happen, and like you're what you're wanting is just going to go by, and you're just going to be left sitting around talking about how it could have been or what you could have done. But it looks a little weird coming out of this. Now you have the Two of Cups initially, and for me, when I'm looking at clarifiers, just so everybody understands, I look at past, present, and future. What does that mean? What is that going to look like? So when you're looking at the Ten of Swords as the past, as a clarifier to that, there's a painful ending possibly involving a relationship, but then you come out with the Lovers and the Page of Wands, a renewal possibly, and this may be really exciting. And again, communication, exciting communication involving the Lovers and the Two of Cups. So for some of you, this is going to have to do with just a business partnership. And, you may have experienced like dead ends before, but it looks good coming out. I just think that you're going to have to wait. And it's funny because, the couple's worth waiting for, something is going to be worth waiting for here. But flirt, and then even for the singles, playfulness. That lighthearted energy is what's going to be important within relationships. But what I love here is your soul trees, because looking at resilience, initiative, and mystery, right, you can bounce back from whatever painful endings you have dealt with, especially in regards to relationships, whether they're romantic or business related. You're going to be able to bounce back from this. And you're persistent. You're not giving up. You're going to have to take the initiative. But what I love here is mystery. It may be a little bit of a mystery to you right now why things are happening the way that they are, or a mystery in terms of like not really knowing what's going to happen. Like it's a mystery here. I'm doing what I need to do. Let's see some results here. And for some of you, I do think that you're hoping for the energy to start moving a little bit more quickly. But again, whatever is going on here in terms of a relationship, it is going to be worth waiting for.